Hey guys, Rise here, bringing you another Pan American Team League game. This time versus dM-Fire versus dM-Fire versus the StarCraft Confederacy. DM stands for Disturbed Minds, and we'll see how disturbed they are as we get into this set of 5, best of 5, maybe is the best way to put it. And starting off today, we've got a TVP. And somebody was telling me that I've got like skins set up that I'm not supposed to. So why don't we take a quick look at this here? Enable. Is there actually? Oh, this is it. All right, we're gonna turn that off. No. I want to say okay. Does that turn off the? That does. That's it. That turns off the craziness. Thank you, Greth, for yelling at me and making fun of me for having on the pre-order skins. I had no idea what you were talking about, but now I know, because I always wondered, I'm like, is that a visual bug? It doesn't make sense. Why would you want... Look at that. Why would you want that skin? All right, before we get into the game, we all got to just take a look at this together. This doesn't make sense. Who thought that looked good? We're turning that off. Permanently. Forever. Okay, once again, thank you, Greth, for pointing that out and shaming me very, very properly for that mishap and mistake. I shall not ever do that again. Okay, so anyway, we've got Disturbed Minds Q8D, which actually, I'm pretty sure is just a smiley face. It's got the 2 eyes, which is the 8, and the big open mouth, which is the D, and a backwards cap, which is the Q. So Q8D. I feel like I may have described that in a Mitch Hedberg-esque manner, but I can't say for sure. By the way, he's all the way up here. He's the Protoss. He's going up against SCC StarCraft Confederacy Cero. That's right, Cero. Bleach fans, that's your man right there. Although I think Cero is spelled with a C in Bleach. It's that hollow attack. You know what don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But we're watching a PVT, which is, believe it or not, one of my favorite matchups. I think I say that for every matchup because I love StarCraft, and it's true. I do love PVT more than anything. Let me make sure I got my replay cover on there. I think I do. We do see the quick expansion, the 14. Oh, actually, he did it on 13. I thought it was a 14 next build, but apparently this guy made it happen on 13, or perhaps even 12. The Terran, in the meantime, though, I should probably zoom in here a little bit, is going for a more standard build. He's already got his gas going here. He's got his barracks. Not a wall. Interesting. I don't know if perhaps it's too difficult to wall on this position in Circuit Breaker for Terran, but it seems odd that you... Well, it is pretty wide. I'll give him that. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the wall looks like. I feel like it's supply depot, barracks, supply depot. Straight across, which gives you a fairly large ramp. Now, these ramps are larger than the standard, although that one, I gotta say, that one looks... Okay, it's the same size. It looks a little bit smaller. It does look a little bit smaller, though, right? Does he catch the probe? He does! So there's not going to be any scouting for Smiley Face up there. I don't know what to call him. Q8D? Smiley Face seems like a better name, though. But the Nexus is done. And he's got that core going. Second gateway. He's got his gas. The Terran player, in the meantime, has got that factory finished. And throwing out a couple of vultures here. I like it. That's good. It's good for the scouting. There is an SEV scouting in the Protoss space at the same time. So it seems like an important thing to mention. Let me alt-tab here real quick. I want to have chat available in case anyone's hanging out. I actually tweeted it for the first time, or second time. So if you'd like to watch live for those YouTubers, come follow us over at Rise Above. The O is a 0 and the E is a 3. And, oh my goodness! I should be paying attention more here. There is an... apparently what... Well... I want to call it an all-in, but I guess it's not necessarily all-in because he's still got quite a few SCVs here. But it looks like he's got a solid control group across all of these units, including the Vulture, going in after this this quick nexus. And this is actually a beautiful idea by the Terran player. I like it. He's throwing down a proxy bunker, and he's definitely ahead. But there are 2 Dragoons out already. The bunker, 75% of the way done. He's lost 1 Marine, but another one comes in here. Is he going to get it in time? He does! He does! And he's got a lot of SCVs here who can try to repair this. He loses 1. Is he going to lose the second? No. He does manage to keep that second one alive. And that bunker is doing some serious damage onto that Nexus. Already in the blue flame mode. And it looks like the Protoss gamble is not going to work out here. I'm curious where we are in range. He's only halfway done. There's no way he can defend this. He is going to lose his Nexus. It looks like he's coming out now, but... he's just going for the run-by. No, he's not. He's going for the Vulture. I don't understand that play. You should probably go for either a run-by or not take a ton of damage on your Dragoons there, buddy. Loses some... about 80 health points on that Dragoon and only shield on the others. Well, 3. Technically 3 on this. So he'll be okay, but... Man! That was an effective play by Orange. Very, very smooth and capitalizing on what he noticed was an overly aggressive and greedy play. Terran now has got to catch up, though. He's got to get... So there's something to mention here. The saturation here should be pretty decent. I didn't count any probes here. Let's see. We got 27 versus 32, so maybe it's not as much as I thought. Nice surround, by the way, on that bunker. Okay, a couple of things happened here. He clearly brought his SCVs back to base, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to all the probes that went to the other Nexus. He must have had some killed, but is he just not staying on top of his probe production here? His food count's only at 33. He's supply blocked, by the way. And he had, what, 5 Dragoons, right? So that's 10 right there. So I guess he's got 23 probes. Okay, well that's pretty decent for just one base, but it doesn't look like it, right? Maybe they're stacked up over here in the corner. Oh wait, I can select the whole group at the same time. I didn't even realize that. That seems new in a replay. I wouldn't say he's got 23 probes, but anyway, I don't know why I'm going into the probe count so much here. Dragoons are going to head through the double ramp here and perhaps double up. Not double up, but double their initiative. Oh! I like it. There is a tank hidden under the bunker. Very difficult to target. And that spider mine did some damage, actually. Taking him down to just half health. We've got a couple of SCVs repairing this bunker. And what is this? What is this hero Dragoon doing? No. DT is in the base. DT is in the base. He's taking out the tank. I kind of like this. Going after the turret. Oh, another free tank. Get the tank. You got to move. You should really be moving these Dragoons in, though, too, at this point, I believe, with how far you force these tanks back. He's going after the turrets. And Orange is doing the right thing in making turrets. Is there an academy going down? I wonder. Does not appear to be. So he's going to rely on turrets. And this is the smart play for sure. Just lift off, cut your losses, and you got to stabilize, right? He's got 3 factories here. Oh, he canceled one. I thought I saw a 3rd factory. I've been drinking, let's be honest, so full disclosure. Forward missile turret gets taken out by this DT, and the DT is blocking the Dragoons. What are you doing, DT? What are you... All right, he moves them in now, and he's going to start working on that supply depot. Dragoons are able to come in. I'm not quite sure. Ooh, nice spider mines actually helping take things out here. But I'm not quite sure why he didn't move further in with their Dragoons. I'm also not sure why Orange didn't drop... Where's this brown? Let's look. It's orange. I'm not quite sure why Orange didn't drop that barracks. However, it makes sense that he wouldn't know if the DT was out of his base or not. So I could see him leaving that open in case he needed to run anything out and probe drill into the mineral patch. So I can agree with that. DT, though, in the meantime, continuing harassment is going to be taken out by Spider-Mine. No! Wow, down to 2 hit points. That's the beautiful thing about running away from Spider-Mines. If you don't get hit in the epicenter of the attack, you don't take full damage, and that's a big deal. So this DT here, he may have thought he took this out. I thought he took it out. If he was listening effectively, he would know that it wasn't taken out. But this DT here is ready to do some damage to the... Oh, SCVs. 1. Nope. He can't reach and he's stuck. Oh, there we go. All right, he's going after the turret. All right, let's go take a look at Teal's base. I'd like to keep an eye on the Templar. He's got 6 kills. We do have a third base going up here. Oh, looks like he was taken out by Scan and a tank who just drove through the command center, because that's reality. You can do that. If you didn't know, now you do. These 3 Dragoons are really don't belong here anymore. They should be heading back to base to join the rest of their brethren in protecting and defending the 7 kingdoms. But for now, they're just going to get slaughtered here by a siege tank and a couple of vultures who are cleverly dropping mines in the path of their retreat and just making them a pile of blue goo. Even the goo has got remastered graphics. That's awesome. I love it. So we're still on 2 factors here, working our way towards the standard 4 build here, and also making a second expansion for the Terran player, which is really what he needs to do to make sure he's keeping pace with the Protoss player, who is getting some observers out on the field. He does have that Templar archive, so we'll have to see if he decides to go Storm or not. Obviously, I would assume that he will eventually. I'd actually prefer to see Zealot speed over everything else, though. And at the moment, I can't tell whether or not he has it. We'll have to just watch here and see what transpires. Good little supply depot wall here, helping block that ramp, forcing units to walk across the front of it, or attack directly into it, which will give his tanks some extra shots before they can engage directly with the siege tanks. And what are we building over here? An armory. Good. Upgrades are always good. That command center, about 90% of the way there, give or take 3%. Engineering bay, just floating around doing nothing. I heard some scans going down. You know, if I was quick enough, we could do this. Scan the main base at the very least, probably a couple of other areas. Oh, did he scan that? No. He doesn't know about the third base yet, so this is actually kind of a big deal. Unless this is a replay bug. I haven't tested this. This could be a thing. I don't actually know. Whoops, I paused it. Alright, so let's get back into full vision here. But it appears that he doesn't know that there is a third base. Clearly he knows there was an expansion, and the expansion's been rebuilt, but the third base is still an unknown. We're up to 8 gateways here, and working on a 9th. So Protoss is clearly pretty well dedicated to the ground cause, although we do have a shuttle out here. I believe that is Speed Zealots. I think so, yeah, they look pretty quick. Throw 4 of those in there to help deal with tanks. I think that's a good approach. And the Dragoons, in the meantime, are just kind of chilling. So both players are macroing up here. This doesn't look like anything, right, at a glance. Oh, I heard a shuttle filling up. But there is actually a nice little wall going on here that'll stop any vultures from getting free shots on that expansion. We've got decent saturation at all the bases, at least 12 probes at each. And Protoss is moving across. He's looking to engage. He does have an observer out on the field. There are turrets to defend that observer from getting too deep into things. But he's at the very least going to see some spider mines. And he knows that he's got to be careful. I would imagine he's got a second observer with this group, but it appears not. We did see earlier on that he had 3 buildings, so I'm not quite sure where the rest are. He is going to start taking out some of these spider mines, but those tanks have tank range. Of course. There is a second observer over here. Curious where the third is. He had 3 queued up. Maybe he only made 2. Maybe he lost 1. He did come close to losing this one, so that would make sense. Here we go, the first big engagement We've got Zealots moving in on those tanks, and the shuttle doesn't drop anything. Maybe it dropped one. I can't tell for sure. And this is going to be a favorable engagement for the Terran player long term, as all of these Zealots have been taken out, and these Dragoons are just hanging out in siege tank range. Although it looks like they're trying to get a little bit further out of it and start attacking directly onto that command center. But with the orange player re-sieging, let's get both of them back up here. He's going to be able to clear this out and deal with this. Although the command center still taking a lot of damage. What is going on? All right, he's moving up some backup tanks. And it looks like this is going to fully deflect the attack. Oh! Wow! Beautiful. Beautiful spider mine right there, hitting a huge clump of Dragoons and doing serious damage, taking that one down to 1 hit point. So it looks like at the moment Cerro is in pretty decent shape, but I like what Smiley Face did here. Super Smiley Face. Open mouth Smiley Face. He expanded behind his attack, which allowed him to secure this without having to worry about harassment, because Cerro's focus was elsewhere, right? He wasn't able to harass with a couple of vultures here, which he's just now getting back to at this point. Maybe Flash could have, but let's be honest, this isn't Flash. So instead, he was distracted with dealing with what was going on at home. Another good wall here, using some cheap supply depots as basic cinder blocks to stop Zealots from running up this ramp and directly into the tank line. However, he'll probably need something up here as well. A couple of spider mines will help, but if there's another large force that comes forward right over that higher ground here, he doesn't have really good vision, and this could be taken out before he gets any shots off on what might come his way. But it looks like overall, I would say Teal is in a great position here. He's got solid income. He's up a base to the Terran player. I don't see a command center going down quite yet. We do have science vessels out on the field, which is good for EMP. That's what you want to do, of course, when you're up against some Protoss shenanigans, Storm, and whatever else you might see. And it looks like he's just scouting. I thought that might have been an SCV, but clearly he's moving a little bit faster than an SCV ever would. Wow, you can't see that spider mine at all. That's cool. Must be, again, a replay bug here. All right, we hear some attacks. There are some clearing of spider mines going down here with a Dragoon force. Guerrilla force, I would say. He's only got 7 of them there. And we can hear more continuing to go down, but he is on top of that with that observer. And that's something that a lot of players don't do, right? They don't put the observer in front of the units. They put them with the units. And by the time they see him, it's too late. Look at this. Look, see, this is a good example, right? This dude might absorb a spider mine before the observer ever gets there. It looks like he's probably going to as he moves closer here. Oh, we are going to see these taken out, though. He doesn't know about this single one, though. And we might have to rewind to see what happens with that single spider mine. So the contingency continues to move forward. Oh, he took it out. He didn't take damage. All right, very nice. Oh, it looks like he had a second obs there, so that'll help. All right, so the expansions stay pretty stagnant at 4 bases to 3. The Terran player is just continuing to macro up. He's now on 6 factories, and that's going to allow him to obviously remacro pretty quickly. Let's get a quick gateway count. We're still at 9, it looks like, although we've got arbiters coming out on the field. So the tech has progressed, and we're getting from the basic ground units to some fancy stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Terran, on the other hand, is sticking with the Vulture and Tank game. He's got +1 upgrades. What do we have on the Protoss here? 101. All right. So we're in pretty even shape here. Protoss is certainly keeping up. And it looks like he's clearing out the top right. I like it. Continue to take out the vision of the spider mines, or what the spider mines are giving the Terran player. You still have one you got to take out there at some point there, buddy. Looks like he sees it and takes it out. He's also got a cannon down at that 5th base he's putting down. I like it. Continuing to expand here. And the Terran player as well is taking the cue and saying, all right, we're going to the late game. Let's go up to 4 bases here. A lot of spider mines down outside that 4th base. Strong force defending that forward position. But back home, there's a solid collection of metallized units. We've got both vultures who I haven't zoomed in on yet. We gotta take a look at this. Is that a person riding them? Holy cow, I never realized they had drivers. That's amazing. Look, they've got like little arms and everything. I always... So these are like motorcycles? No way. I've been playing this game for 12 years. No, 17 years. A lot of years. And I'm just realizing now that vultures are motorcycles. How about Goliath? He's inside, right? Wow. I know the tank's inside. I don't see anything here going on. That's kind of fishy. But let's zoom in. All right, so these Goliaths, yep, they're inside properly. That's a dude. That's a dude riding it. They're like the stormtroopers on their little hoverboard bikes. I don't know what they call the stormtrooper bikes. So any Star Wars fans, similar universe, not quite the same. Don't yell at me, please. How about the science vessels? Can you see like you can see the computers inside them? Are there people inside there? There's got to be, right? Who's flying it? Oh, we are not going to take out the observer here. All right, we've got to keep doing some research here. The SCVs, that looks like it's got a forward-looking face. Look at that. They've got defined arms and shoulders and everything. All right, Protoss. Protoss continuing to just hang out in the middle here. He does have a few arbiters on the field. We're at max food supply. I would like to see a few more gateways going down here. So as he's ready to remax, he can do it more quickly than currently. He's got a huge stockpile of 5,000 minerals finally going in. Terran player's almost max. He's got a decent force of tanks. That is a deep tank line. Not as many vultures as I would like to see, to be honest. I think you honestly need some more. But the engagements are also poor at the same time for the Terran as he continues to lose. Well, he's not losing. All right, he lost a vulture. He wasn't losing vultures, but that's not necessarily the engagement that you want to make. He's continuing. Free observer there. Continuing to slow push that tank line up. And now it really becomes the Protoss's game to win. Meaning he's got to do some work and figure out how he's going to break up this tank push here. Very nice snipe on that science vessel. You need a little bit more. Frankly, we need more arbiters. Oh, he did make some more gateways. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, we've got an engagement going on here. It looks like the Terran is continuing to push into the Protoss. He's going to just continue to move out and avoid any major attacks. EMP goes down, takes out the energy on the one arbiter, but we still have almost 200 on the next. Stasis costs, I believe, 100 magic, so he should be able to... Look at that beautiful clump here he could go after. I would say if you could aim like right about here, you will get maybe all of this. And that would be a huge dampen on the DPS that the Terran player can do against the Protoss player here. Let's check upgrades again. 202 for the Protoss, 2-1 for the Terran. Again, very even. And I believe we're going to see a recall coming in here. Oh, right on top of the tanks. No less. Ah! Whoa! What did you... what? What? Hold on. Hold on. It's ridiculous replay stuff. All right. We have to rewash this. All right, we'll speed up and everything. All right. What happened here? So we're gonna see a recall. Right. We're gonna see a recall. Did it not go off? I don't see any dead bodies. I don't see anything that suggests those units were killed. It actually just looks like that it was canceled. Very odd. Very odd. However, What matters is the Terran player dealt with it very effectively, and he's sitting at 200 food count, whereas the Protoss only has 199. Doesn't look good for the Protoss player here. And he's engaging in a very reckless manner, not even sieging up here. Very sloppy push. And that's going to allow the Protoss player to stay in this game, actually. As he... Oh, nope, he's going to have to back off. All right, so the tank line was deep enough. There really needs to be a couple of shuttles mixed into the Protoss army so that he could be dropping zealots back here while he's hitting the front. And that's going to put the Terran army in disarray entirely. But he fails to do that. However, he does, in the meantime, have a bajillion gates going up here. Let's count up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. We've got another 5. It's 20, 24 gateways at this point. So he is remaxing very quickly. However, he's gas starved. It's probably because he's not actually mining gas, which would be a good thing to do. He's only got 2 over here. He's got 0 on the other one. He's got 3 here. There's no gas here. He's got to be focusing on this. And the Terran player is pushing across with a very gas-heavy army. A lot of scan going down. Beautiful mines. Just forcing the Protoss player into it. Here we're getting a beautiful picture of flanks that are happening. We don't have siege tanks, but with this vulture-heavy army, the lack of gas of Smiley Face is going to do him in long-term because he's so zealot-heavy, and that's very favorable for the vulture army. There are some Dragoons, and that's going to help take out a lot of these tanks that are 3-2, by the way, at this point, versus 202 upgrades. Spider Mines continuing to go down. The tank's being cleaned up, but we still have a lot of vultures here in the front of the base. Let's do a quick recap here. 157 food count, 168. So the Terran player with his close to 8 factories, it looks like 9 factories, is in good a position. Continuing to transfer SCVs over to the new base here. Making another command center to continue to expand. But look at all these zealots popping out. I like the vulture play here and the mines being dropped. It looks like they're going to be able to clean this up. But honestly, Terran's not in a bad position. You can see he's forming a wedge here. But here's the thing with the Terran player. He's not actually able to, even though he's going to take all this crap out, he's not able to replenish as quickly as the Protoss player, who's got still over 5,000 minerals banked and able to just produce a absolute crap ton of units at once. Looks like he's going for the expansion, and this is going to be what I feel is the game-defining moment. If he can break this expansion and start taking it out, it's going to be game. What's going on, Antisocial Monkey? Long time no see. The YouTube channel's back up and running. I did hide or unlist all of the old videos for anyone who's wondering. So good question. A reason for that is just because of my professional life and making sure that I have videos that are a little bit cleaner. But I'll talk about that in a minute. We've got a big battle here coming on. Big flank coming from behind. This is going to be cleaned up as the Zealots continue to attack. A lot of Zealots on these tanks. And at this point, honestly, I think the Terran player did not push out with enough units at once. He's got a lot of vultures here at this point, and they're planting mines all over the place, which is definitely the right thing to do. I don't see an observer here. Oh, we do, but it's not with the units. And, oh, we got a couple that are going to pop here as he starts moving across the map. This is also clearly giving him some vision, and long term it's going to put him in a good position against the Protoss player. And here's the deal. The Protoss player is losing units faster than he's remaking them. Look at all these tired gateways that are just not doing anything. They're not producing units, and he's clearly distracted. However, that's going to lose you the game. You've got to continue making units, especially when you got 5,000 minerals, and the Protoss is not doing that. Let's check the space over here. There's no units being produced. I would love to see a unit production tab, but Brood War does not have that, obviously. And Protoss is moving very, very far forward with a force that he shouldn't be against a completely maxed out Terran player. Terran player just going mass vultures into these Zealots. Minimal micro would be enough to take out these Zealots. However, he's not even doing that. But still, it's a favorable exchange for the Terran player if the Protoss player is not rebuilding. It looks like he is at this point. Keep in mind, with 24 gateways, he should be making 48 supply at a time. There is no unit outside of a probe for the Protoss that costs 1 food count. Looks like he is going to lose that observer, and this force is likely going to be stopped very quickly by both the spider mines and the small force over here. A couple of SCVs going to be taken out in transit. Really not a huge deal. There's a ton of money on the board for the Terran player. He has dropped down to 164 food count against a maxed out Protoss army, so now we're seeing the opposite of what happens when you only have 9 factories. I would recommend he had a couple of extra, but, and frankly, to go, I keep saying frankly, I did have a hot dog for dinner, so maybe that has something to do with it. I would recommend him to have some more factories just to make vultures, and he does have a 10th factory, but there should probably be more on the order of 14 at this point. Unfavorable exchange for the Protoss as he moves in with a lot of Dragoons before the Zealots are ready. We're not seeing any Arbiter tech here anymore. I'm not sure why. There is an Arbiter out on the field. There should be probably about 4 at this point with this force. He is maxed out where he's not going to be able to produce any more Arbiters, so that may have something to do with it. But without him, he's really going to struggle. Look at the stasis that he could get right here if he just had it. He is going in for it. Are we going to see it? No, he's only got 76 energy on it. We do have a second Arbiter. And he's slowly moving in. Nice EMP. That's going to take the energy out of that Arbiter. And can he snipe it? No. That Science Vessel is going to get away. Once again, the Terran army is maxed. The Protoss army is not. He is not even making units here. Again, and this is what's going to lose the game long term for the Pro. By the way, I haven't seen this. I have no idea who wins, but the fact of the matter is his macro is lacking, and so I would assume that he's going to long term not keep up with the Terran player, who is consistently maxed with much fewer facilities in order to max. Another observer being taken out. That's actually a big deal. He's sacrificing Dragoons into spider mines, which is effective, actually. He takes out 4 of them there. And the Zealots begin to charge in. Goes straight onto the tanks. I like it. We've got a lot of vultures here. That base is completely naked. More vultures coming in from behind. And we've got a lot of units here who are just caught up. It looks like he's going to be able to clean this up pretty quickly going forward as the Zealots run directly into the vultures. But he might lose the command center here. Let's see. Nope. It's burning. There are no SCVs to repair it, but should be repairable at least. We do have a couple of Zealots that made it all the way into the main base here. The main base. Not quite the main base. The 7th base here for the Terran player. We've got some spider mines giving some vision around here. Let's take a quick look. What does the Protoss player see? He doesn't see a single unit. That's interesting, actually. That tells you that his observers are too close together in this case, and he could have better vision. We do have a High Templar that looks like he's going to get taken out. He does. Let's switch vision. What does the Terran player see? He sees a little bit about what's going on here, but you can tell that he could definitely use some more mines. He also sees this base that it looks like he's sieging up for. But there was apparently a recall back here while I was showing you the other items. And he does take out a base. But the Terran player still has a lot of minerals. He's still maxed out, or just about. Looks like he's going to be able to take out this force in the bottom left. Decent amount of science vessels allowing him to do so. And yeah, that's going to get cleaned up. Another battle coming in here. Let's get, before we get into this battle, see everything in place. This is a very scary battle for the Protoss as he tries to get across these 2 small bridges with really not that big of a force. And I'm kind of wondering where the rest of his units are. He's at 141 food, but he's not mining. He's just not mining. I mean, he's got very poor saturation on these bases, which is ultimately going to lose him the game. It looks like he's going to try to engage here in the center a little bit with the Terran player, but there are a lot of tanks out in the field, and as soon as he engages, he's just going to see his Dragoons evaporate into thin air or into blue goo. He is mined out over here. Maybe there were some probe transfers that were attempted to take place that got taken out by vultures or tank shots. But honestly, the income for the Protoss player is weak. Zooming way out here to see what's going on. We've got some vultures engaging directly with zealots. Again, favorable engagements for the Terran player, and it's starting to look very, very difficult for the Protoss to win this game. Terran does not have the 3 o'clock base yet, which I'm a little bit surprised about. He should take that at some point, although he could just rebuild this bottom left base. But he's just pushing out. He's fully maxed out, whereas the Protoss player is not. Mines going down around the units here. Very nice. He's got a decent surround. Zealots are engaging directly against unsieged tanks. The tanks don't even need to siege at this point. More spider mines going down, continuing to take out a lot of zealots at once, cleaning it up for him. We are seeing the both players drop in food count significantly and very quickly, but the zealot count is pretty solid for what the tanks are facing here. The Terran player needs to continue to make these vultures and send them up to the main battle, which he apparently is doing at this point. And now, winning that battle, he's going to continue to push. And with the income being low, we are seeing some zealots pop out here, but there's no further units to come. He's got to have something going on with that gas. He really needs Sidestorm. He's losing that 9 o'clock base. And at this point, he only has this base mining, this base mining, this base mining. He's got 4 bases mining, but the saturation is pretty weak, except for that base and maybe, arguably, no, not even arguably that base. So Protoss is just behind from the income standpoint. Let's take a quick look at upgrades as we go into what may be the final skirmish here. 3-1-3 versus 3-3. The Terran is in a great position as he works on taking out this final expansion. And if he takes this out, there is 0 income left for the Protoss player. There are some units pushing up in the... Nope, there's just spider mines as he continues to push onto the natural expansion of the top right base. There are still some probes mining. Looks like tanks are getting in position for a full-on siege here. He's moving back to defend against a... I don't know where he's going. He doesn't either. He's going back into the fray here as he continues to push in onto the natural base. And a huge line of zealots, maybe too little too late, march in to take out these tanks and vultures. But the vultures do so much damage against it, and they run into just a field of spider mines. Huge hits are absorbed by these zealots, but because he's got none left and frankly none producing, more Frankfurters, he's not able to deal with it. He's got a small contingency of forces over here. He's got nothing. All right, he's got a couple things, a couple of zealots coming out of here. But with that much gas, you need to be doing Sidestorm, making these Templars so you can get some beautiful blanket storms over here and maybe break back out of it. We do have a nice EMP that takes out the energy of that Templar there. And that in itself, that EMP, may be enough to seal the deal here. Not that I think Protoss had a huge chance to get back into it, but the EMP made the Terran a lot less hesitant to push into this base. And it looks like he is going to take it out. And we're probably going to see GG here any second, as there's really not much more the Protoss can do. Once the Terran is in your face like this, very, very difficult to defend against. And I'd say a little preemptively, oh, we do have a force over here coming in, but they're not going to get too far, actually, as they just run into a spider minefield. Yep, they're going to get cleaned out by an easy maxed out Terran force, as he is not even at 100 food anymore. 96. He's dwindling quick, and that's going to be GG, folks, as these last couple of Dragoons get taken out. The single Dragoon, what can you do? Micro it. Micro. Focus. Oh! Car wreck. You got taken out by a semi-truck. You always got to watch when you're in the right lane, right? You don't want to get sideswiped by a semi-truck that can just wipe you out, and that's what happened in this game. So, very nicely done by Cero. I think he played this game well, and had a very solid push. He had, frankly, a better macro. Frankly, again. I'm going to keep calling myself. I need a timer that I got to put up on this. He does stop the Protoss player in his tracks many times, though, and ultimately wedges in and takes out the top right, which was the only chance that the Protoss had for income. And we've got a good game. So, all right, cool. The cast is choppy. What? No, it shouldn't be choppy. I shouldn't be dropping it. It doesn't. I've only dropped 12 frames out of like a bajillion. But good to see you, Burton. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into the next game here. So SCC, StarCraft Confederacy is up 1. Antisocial Monkey, what were you saying? I'm working on a project to preserve all the old casts by the YouTube casters. Is there any way to catalog your videos via a playlist or something? There is, actually. I didn't delete any of my videos. They're actually all just unlisted. And what I need to do, I need to go through them, and I just got to take out anything that's absurdly politically incorrect so that we can get... or so I don't get fired from my job, basically. I'm no longer in a position where it would matter if people found the videos. It's not worth the repercussions if I've got past drunk casts, you know, where I'm just getting a little too excited and I just got to listen to some of them. And if they're good, I'll re-release them. Try refreshing a lot. Oh, it's smooth for you? Good. Cool. All right, you were talking to him. I thought you were talking to me. All right, on to game number 2. What do we got? So this shouldn't be the 2 versus 2. Looks like we've got a Blue Storm game here. Where we got standard TVZ. I like it a lot. Whoop. I don't want to go faster. Or I don't want to go fastest. I want to keep it at... I'm out of alcohol, guys. Should I go get another one before we keep going? Oh, they're talking. I missed the talking. All right, hold on. We got to rewind here. Don't delete the 2 hours long Andromeda drunk cast. All right, I'll make sure. What you do? You dop with T? What? Well, on BS? Yeah. Oh. We've got tie 2 from StarCraft Confederacy against Xenoski, or Xenosky. Make many Marines and medics. That is solid advice in a TVZ. I don't think he should have shared that with his opponent. That's detrimental to his cause. He's putting himself out there in a way that is unnecessary, and the strategy may not pay off. Check out this APM here. We're over 300, boys. Trying to stay above 200 for tie 2. But it looks like the Zerg is going for a overpool at the very least, or actually I'm sorry, it's versus Terran. He's clearly going for the 12 hatch. Terran player is probably going to go bio. The standard builds that I've been watching lately, I'm gonna call out Nyokin. He's been a lot of fun to watch. He's been he's been doing a nice transition from bio into metal, and it's interesting. I don't remember seeing this so much back in the 2007 days, 2008 days, but it's very effective against that ultra Ling lurker build that the Zerg like to go against Terran, as they just have to absorb so much damage from spider mines if you're effective at dropping them down. We do see the cross scouting here. They don't know where each other are. No, they just want to find out what the build order is, and we are going to see an overpool actually for the Zerg player, so we might see some early links here. Clearly we are, as he's saving up larva for some Zerglings, but he's also going for the expansion here as he's nearing 300 minerals, as he finds that there's nothing to worry about from a rush standpoint. He can make... Oh, he's still making lings anyway. Honestly, all right, I've got an opinion on this. I've got an opinion on everything. I'm a very opinionated guy. And I don't think I would have made Zerglings here, to be honest. I think I would have droned up. I would have made one set of Zerglings to take care of this single SCV. But I would have dropped down this hatchery and made drones because the threat is minimal. It appears that he thinks he can break this wall. And that's partially true because there's a Marine... Ooh, this may work out, actually. Nope, he didn't block it. He needed to block that barracks from going back down. He does manage to get a drone in there, with just 2 hit points for that matter. And it's not a solid wall, so he is able to run by. Okay, so I take back what I said. He has incredibly good observation skills and manages to get some shots off on this Terran early on, He's got to be careful with this micro, though, of these Zerglings. This drone is going to town on this refinery. And honestly, the Zerg player is in a fantastic position here, as the Terran player is having to pull off his SCVs multiple times to try to defend this. There is one Marine in the bunker, and these Zerglings are actually continuing. Hold on! Oh! I was hoping to see if there were more kills, but they have gotten a few kills here on SCVs, and really heavily distracting this Terran player. So let's see what we've got going on here. We've just got gas going down now. It looks like he's transitioning into a 3-hatch muta build. And the Terran player is super behind. He doesn't have a factory going down because he had an SCV or 2 or 3 that were just going to town on that refinery as well, trying to collect what they could. Drone is still up in the base. Looks like he was spotted and is going to be taken out by these 2 Marines. But the Terran player is in a lot of trouble. He just does not have the income here with what? 9 SCVs to try to build up to the point where he can get a eBay down. Wow. I don't like this at all. I don't think this is a good decision. He's so far behind and he's going starport. How is he going to afford this? Is he going Wraith or dropship? There's no way he's going science vessel. That would be that's just absurd, right? There's no way he would do that. Meanwhile, the Zerg player doing a good job of just droning up behind, and we're going Hydra Den. Is this going to be another one of those days where I'm just wrong on everything? Probably. What's going on, Shamax? Thank you for the welcome back. I appreciate it. I am doing the. I've signed up. Unofficially, officially, whatever you want to call it, to do the Pan American Team League for Sonic Reaver, because he's a bro, guy I've spent a lot of time with in the past, and wanted to support the cause. I love StarCraft, and I've got a little bit of spare time, despite the 3 kids, full-time job, and all that fun stuff, to throw some casts out there. And I like it. I love doing it. This is amazing. This is something that 10 years ago I was doing YouTube casts, and here I am again 10 years later just putting them out there, and it's still just as fun. The game is just, it just doesn't get stale for me. I don't know what it is. All right, we are going to see a dropship. Okay, dropship is questionable, honestly. I don't know what he's hoping to accomplish here. He could drop a couple of units over here and maybe take out the den and some drones. Clearly, he's not going to get much done over here on the natural base. And I understand he's walled up, and the dropship will allow him to move out. That makes a little bit of sense, but all right, let's see what happens. Let's see if he can make something big happen with this dropship. Looks like he's waiting for that final fire bat to jump in the dropship, and they're heading on out. And we're just gonna hold on. Let me double tap. We don't have that hold down and click and follow the unit thing, so we're making our own little feature here of just double tapping, so I can try to follow this dropship as quickly as possible. You watched me 10 years ago, really? So you're as old as I am. That means you're at least 10 years old. And the dropship, I don't know, what is the dropship doing? He's going to get caught by these hydras. Is he going to drop on the high ground before he gets taken out? It doesn't really matter, because the thing is, he's been spotted one way or another, so the Zerg is prepared to deal with this. He's only got 1 hit left on him. Oh, he gets taken out. That's GG. Not surprising. Xenosky gives up. But I got to say, from that early attack on, he was out of the game. Very nicely done by our Zerg friend over here. Honestly, he saw the wall was broken, and it was smart to call it, because if we look back here, right, when he actually pierced the wall, he knew right away that this is not a wall. He left enough space for the Marines to run in, and the drone actually, I think, is what caught this. I didn't realize he got the SCV, so he even delayed the barracks on top of that. And the drone is all the way up in there. That allowed him to win the game right there, just running by this wall. I know you can wall this. Maybe it's the supply depot goes here and the barracks goes below it. Maybe that's the correct build. But either way, very nicely done by SCC tie 2. And that puts them up 2-0. So I think we're getting into 2 versus 2 next. But before we do, I'm going to do something that I shouldn't do. I'm going to say... Oh, I got Alt-Tab apparently because my mouse is stuck in the window. I'm going to Alt-Tab. Turn that off for a second. We're going to hit the back in 3, and we're going to see if I forget to take it off again. I have to test myself and find out, do I have the discipline to turn it off after 5 seconds or 3 minutes, I guess, of getting a drink and getting back into it. Someone's got to remind me. All right. But with that, I will be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere if you like StarCraft. Plenty more to come. Oh, I almost screwed it up already. Here we go. All right. Be right back, guys. Oh, I should mute myself, too, because you're going to hear me going up and down my... I lied. I'm back in way less than 3. I was drinking Dark and Stormy, and I decided I'm already drunk, so I shouldn't keep drinking Dark and Stormies because they're super heavy on the alcohol. Dark and Stormy, for those of you wondering. Oh, hold on. Turn this off. And let's get back into the next game. But Dark and Stormies are rum, ginger beer, and... lime juice, and if you drink a Dark and Stormy appropriately, you'll be feeling it. So I will not do that because otherwise I'm not going to be able to talk for much longer. What's the status of the basement bar? Oh, that's a great question, anti-social monkey. I don't have one anymore. I moved. So I moved to a house in I live in Indiana now. I keep moving further Midwest. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Actually, I like Indy. It's a pretty cool city. And this house doesn't have a... I am in the basement, but it doesn't have a bar. Actually, the basement's not even finished, so I started framing it out. But I don't know if I'm going to live here that long to really continue to finish it. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. It's framed, but I haven't done any electrical or drywall or anything like that because... I just don't think I'm going to live here, so it's not worth the time and effort to do all that. But, oh, hold on. Let's just check OBS. Did I leave anything else on that I wasn't supposed to? No, but I do need to put this on. All right. On to Game 3, SCC, StarCraft Confederacy, is up 2-0, and we are on to the 2 versus 2, and I am excited. I love commentating 2 versus 2s in particular. I've got to say, I think at this point, SCC is clearly favorite to win this. They've got tie 2, who just destroyed Xenosky, and Faust, I think I watched in a prior game. I don't know if I commentated him or not, and I don't know who anyone is. So we've got white and blue. All right, so this is cool, kind of cross positions. P and Z versus P and Z. So we've got a mirror match, 2 versus 2 mirror match. The Zergs are cross position. They're going to get a free scout on their Protoss counterparts. And yeah, this is going to be a exciting, high-paced match because it's 2 versus 2. I keep going on to tangents. I switched to beer, by the way, so that's why I was so quickly before. It was a nice bar. But listen, I'm going to be honest. I probably spent time at that bar outside of like commentating in front of it, which doesn't really mean all that much. I don't know, 3 times, 4 times in 7 years. What happens is you end up having people. Ooh, look how cool that Overlord looks. You end up having people over in your house, right? And whoa, we got a probe rush going on here with some early drones. Holy cow, I can't talk about the bar. We got to get into this game. We've got a probe drone rush going on. And they changed their mind. They changed their mind. What are they doing? They had a really good shot at doing some damage here, but it looks like they're going to go for a sunken attack. They thought they were going for the Zerg, right? Yeah, because the spawning pool's already down. So I see the strategy here. They're shooting for the creep, but there's already a sunken there, and he's going to get down before this can finish. He's also got a bunch of Zerglings popping out here, and this is going to be an epic failure by SCC. They got to get out of here. He's going after the sunken, but it's not going to work. And oh my goodness, so many minerals were invested here. None of this is going to pan out. There's no way. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Don't do it. No, you're not going to do anything. More probes coming down from Red. What are you doing, Red? You didn't need to do anything there. He's trying to help save him, but this is completely unnecessary as Purple is in a great position to defend against this. And all of a sudden, Disturbed Minds are back in the best of 5 series here. This is incredible. Ballsy play by the Confederacy. I like it. I gotta say, I like it for sure. But man, did not pay off. And we have more units out for Purple than White has since he had a chance to start making Zerglings. And there's at least 2 Zealots out on the field for Red. So there's just really not much that StarCraft Confederacy is going to be able to do here. And wow, Red still has the probes going out, and they're heading over to White. I actually don't like this. I would have preferred that he would go after the Protoss player, but I believe it's going to work out because he only has drones, and he only has 6 of them. So these drones are not going to survive very long. We do have 6 Zerglings coming out, but honestly, with the 9 Zerglings that we have here for, well, that selects everything, huh? For Purple, White's dead. And Blue doesn't have anything that he can send over. They handicap themselves so much that there's no way for them to defend this successfully. Blue tries to do something, but wow, he loses his hatchery. That's as good as game over for White. He's got some drones, but he doesn't have 300 minerals. He's out of this game, and it's officially a 2 versus 1. And Purple was in a great spot to begin with. He's going Lair. I have to imagine he's going Spire into this. He doesn't have a Hydralisk Den, so it's pretty clear that he's going to transition into Mutas. We've got some defense at Red. I really think that Red should have just brought his probes back immediately. I don't know why Blue is even attacking into this. This is a completely pointless base to try to preserve, as all there is an extractor for White at this point, and 5 drones and 4 Zerglings. He does have an Overlord, which will help spot some information here as the game progresses. The Lair is done, and the Spire is going down. Very low econ game for the Zerg here, as he's got a whopping, looks like 9 drones. I think I selected all of them. Yeah, 9 drones. But that'll be enough for him to get a couple of Muta out, and that's going to force the Protoss player to do things that he can't afford to do. Again, I cannot believe that they committed as forcefully as they did. And I don't even know what the point of this attack is. This is an all-in attack, basically. He can't even take out this 1 sunken, let alone 2. And that second sunken is just about completed. We don't have a spawning pool, so there's nothing that these drones could do. They were almost able to throw down a creep colony, but that's not going to help at this point either. And, ooh, if they can attack this Spire and get it down in time, that might be worth something to delay the game long enough for Blue to have a chance. It looks like they are going to actually be able to take it down. Wow, forces to cancel. But White is officially out of the game, and it's officially a 2 versus 1. And it looks like Blue realizes this as Purple is attacking and takes out one of the gateways. And we have a GG situation that allows DM back into the game. And we are going to see set 4 for, I think, the first time since I've started casting these PATL games. very cool. That was a fun game. Nicely done by DM. They didn't panic. Purple did a great job. Anyone, I mean, just no panic at all. Didn't make like 5 sunkens. Literally just made the 1, and that's going to be enough for them to get into game number 4. Awesome. All right, so what were we talking about? The bar. All right, so you don't use a bar that much unless, like, when you host people, the basement is really not the place to be. I had a couple of game nights, but beyond that, you end up hanging out in, like, the kitchen or some shit all the time. So I don't think I would rebuild another bar in a new house. But it was nice to have for a while. All right, back on to the next 1 versus 1 here. What do we have? Let's take a look. Wow, I don't remember what map this is. So we're gonna take a quick look at what the pool is for week 2. We've got this is all right. I knew what it was. It was Tau Cross. I thought it was because you've got the wintry. I was gonna say something dirty. I'm not gonna say it. You've got the splatter. You've got some winter splatter all around the map. So that's going to tell you right there that, and this wall is very characteristic or particular to Tau Cross. Even this has the cool HD graphics to it. They did a nice job on updating this. I like it. Let's go back real quick and just observe for a moment. Look, oh my God, look at that. This is a time warp, isn't it? I mean, you just go back to 1997. It's crazy. Like, you can't even tell that there's an anus on the top of this hatchery back in the day. It just looks like a hat or something, right? But no, there's a sphincter and everything in there. And these tubes, I don't know what the tubes are for. I always assume that's where the larva came out of, were the tubes. All right. Anyway, let's get into the game. We've got Hawk versus Dragon. Hawk is for Team SCC. He is potentially the closer, and that's what he's clearly hoping to do as he's up against a Protoss player who is getting the early scout on him. With that probe, he's going for some basic harass. Obviously, the Zerg player... Oh, actually, the Zerg player, he might know if I was paying attention and saw the path of the probe. It looks like he knows where to go because I don't see... it's hard to tell. He's going to find out pretty soon here, though, what's going on. And the Protoss is going for the Forge Fast Expand, which is a very, very popular build. Not invented by, but popularized by Bisu back in the day, for those of you who remember. And honestly, the build that got Protoss back into the game. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, but in like 2006-ish, Protoss just could not win against Zerg. You can't one base Protoss against Zerg. But the Forge Fast Expand revolutionized how Protoss played the game and gave them a chance to actually play the game and win a game. And regularly, for that matter, especially when you start giving yourself enough time to throw some Corsairs in there, and now you can slow down the Zerg, and you're even bases with them, which forces the Zerg to do things like this, where they're potentially overexpanding, trying to stay ahead of the Protoss economy, but they don't really have the economy to, in full force, utilize the larva of that third hatchery so early on. It's fascinating. I agree. Corsair DT, man, is like a super fun build. That is just, it's the synergy. The synergy is just so good. Fun to watch, horrible to be against. Once again, I 100% agree. However, I usually played Protoss in 1 versus 1, so I was never the one against it. I was always the jerk doing it, and yeah, it's pretty solid. But we'll have to see. That may not be the build that Dragon decides to go. He may go a more traditional, just throw a couple of Corsair out there. We may see a Reaver. I don't know. Whatever the case, we are seeing a lair being morphed here for the Zerg player Hawk. And that third base is about wrapping up. so he'll be mining from 3 bases here fairly shortly. The macro is fairly even, 22 to 23 food count. We're not seeing any early zealots. What? No, I heard a zealot somewhere. There he is. So he's going to force these Zerglings back to their home and put just a little bit of pressure on the Zerg to possibly make a sunken, if not a couple more links to deal with that zealot. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the links here. And we're supply capped on the Zerg end. So not a huge deal at the moment. That zealot with good micro will be taken out by the Zerg player. But, oh, yep. Actually doesn't get a kill yet and is already down to no shield. He does scout out the 3rd base here. That's worth finding. Looks like he's going to start taking some armor damage and gets to a beautiful position here where he's playing 1 versus 1 over and over and over. Actually, at the moment, he wrapped up there 1 versus 2, and he does lose that last zealot. But Hawk is in a great position here. We are going to see a Stargate going down, I would imagine. There it is. And you can expect some Corsair to be out on the field pretty shortly. Gateway number 2 and 3, and a pylon going down. I thought we were going to see 4 gate, but we're not. We're just going to see the 3. And the first Corsair is being created to start dealing with random overlords that might be out on the map and vulnerable to this type of attack. Got 8 Zerglings out on the field doing what they do. Spazzing out, running around, overexcited. They're basically, in my mind, like a bunch of chihuahuas. They don't know what to do with themselves. And as the player controlling them, it's your duty to just throw them around the map constantly. Hey, don't stop moving. You've got too much energy to just stop moving. You just got to keep moving them, right? They got to be ready. Wow, holy cow! So we've got 6 hatcheries going down here. 7 hatcheries. What? 6 hatcheries. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Typically, you would see a 5-hatch Hydra build, and we are seeing the den, but that 6th hatchery actually makes me think that he's going to throw more lings in than he would otherwise, or he doesn't trust his macro and he just likes to have that 6th hatchery, which, let's be honest, that's actually a very valid tactic. Nice job by the Scourge taking out that Corsair. He's not going to lose any overlords there. Saved, and they're going to go hunting for another Corsair. Templar Archives is on the way for the Protoss. He is up to 4 gates at this point. Decent saturation at both bases here. Same could be said for the Zerg player, as he's got decent saturation. Curious, at this point he's supply capped again. Let's see, we're 57 to 45. We do have a Spire as well, so obviously we knew that because we saw the Scourge. But he is committing to the Hydra build here. I like the build. I'm surprised at the 6th hatchery. It doesn't seem like much, but he won't be able to utilize all that larva, and it's slightly unoptimal. However, again, if your macro is going to slip, it's honestly not a bad thing. You have to know yourself in these fights. You need to know yourself in these battles. And while it looked like, when I saw the 6th hatchery, it looks like, no, these are the original Zerglings. I thought he was going to go mass Zergling, which would be pretty cool, but and also ineffective. But no, he goes the Hydra build. We are seeing range being upgraded. He does have that lair, so we might see some lurkers pop out here in the not too distant future. These 7 zealots are just going to continue their conga line back to their base as they start working on theirs. They're their 3rd. And defending this large bridge. Of course, there are a couple of spots where the Zerg can go. He can cross over here, but because it's a 3-player map, let's reveal the entire map for a moment. You can see that there's actually a huge opening on the back end here that you can kind of jut around on, or also very scary, dropping in this back end over here. Very wide open. What is this? Oh, it's a probe. It looked like a sheep from far away. And we have some Hydras running across the map. It looks like he's got about 2 full control groups and some more on the way. Man, I love this zoom out feature. Holy cow, that's awesome. And he's going to be able to start dealing with these zealots. Now, there are Templar out on the field. I have to imagine that Storm is done at this point. So Protoss is actually not in a terrible spot. But this is what we were talking about, right? He's going the back end here. If he goes in the front door here, he'll be able to take this out pretty quickly. However, he'll also get flanked from behind, and it'll be very difficult to retreat. But I think he has Hydra speed at this point. He's clearly got Hydra range because he was researching that when we checked. So he will be able to get in and out of this pretty quickly. And here we go. Here's the sandwich. He doesn't have any overlords. And there are DTs out of the field. And the first storms go down. They get a solid club of Hydras. The DTs are just going to town over here. He is picking off the storms or the Templar here, but not before a couple of go off. And the Protoss actually cleans this up pretty quickly. There's still a solid control group and a couple here, maybe 16 Hydra. And the Overlord is finally out on the field, so these DTs are going to start being taken care of. And the Zerg finds himself actually in a pretty solid position now that he's got that Overlord speed. Now, before the Overlord got there, I would say that he was in serious danger of not being able to break that. I would have loved to see drop being researched here, because he has 1, 2, 3 gas, so that should be enough to support that upgrade. And had he gotten that upgrade, he could have followed up directly with a drop over here and taken out some critical buildings. Not so much the Citadel, but definitely the Templar Archive. And it's difficult for the Zealots to get... it's not difficult, but it would be time-consuming to get all the way back to this side of his base. And he doesn't have any pylons built over here, so the vision is lacking, which is unfortunate for him. Now we have another attack going on here. Huge group of clumped up Hydras, prime for a storm. We also have 8 mutas, which are probably just picking off High Templar. Shuttle out on the way. They are taking a lot of shots from that. Oh, he's going to pick one off here. Storm completely whiffs. Hits nothing but maybe his own Zealots for that matter. And all of a sudden the Protoss is in a terrible position. I just realized they can double click on units. This is awesome. Not many Hydras left at this point, but they are attacking. They did take out the cannons on the front building here, or the front choke point. And with these mutas, they're going to be able to take out these Dragoons very quickly, and from the backside as well. That forge is going down, and more Hydras are streaming in from behind. It looks like Hawk is going to win this for the StarCraft Confederacy at this point. I don't think DM, Disturbed Minds, can do very much to recover from this, even with their 3 bases. They are throwing down some more gateways, but I would say too little too late, as the Zerg player continues to force his way down the throat of the Protoss player here, right through the choke points. And the Muta are just a beautiful complement to the Hydra build here. With all the gas that he had coming in, those 3 gases, he's able to build a lot more variety than he would normally otherwise be able to build. And while he lost all but 1 Hydra here, he did a lot of damage. He even took all the probes off and took quite a few probes out, and he's continuing to stream back from the other side with more Hydras, which are going to take out this other expansion, which takes the Protoss player down to 1 mining base, and this is probably going to be it for the Protoss player, as he's not going to be able to defend this amount of units coming in. Lurker Tech was researched at some point. He's got +2 attack already, +1 Carapace on those Muta, and while there's +2 attack on the Dragoons are really not good against Muta in small numbers. It's kind of a little known fact, but they just shoot so slow, and they take a lot of damage from the bouncing glaives that they don't do a ton. The Hydras do wrap up that 3rd base here, and that's going to spell defeat for the Protoss player. StarCraft Confederacy looks to take this best of 5 in a 4-1. Again, this is the A team of StarCraft Confederacy. I believe it's against the A team of the Disturbed Minds as well, which means that for the Team League, they're putting themselves in a very strong position, a very solid showing here with Tai 2, Hawk, and I can't remember the other guy. But, yep, at this point, we're just waiting for a GG coming from the Protoss player. Unfortunately, all these gateways are a little too late. Even though he's got the money to start pumping units out, he waited too long to get there, and there is the GG. So again, very nicely done to StarCraft Confederacy. I am impressed by the gameplay that we saw today. I would say it's much higher level than some of the games that I did in my last cast. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how these guys progress in the series, because not just the series, but the league. It looks like the SCC-A team is got to be poised to be one of the top contenders. What else was going on here? Defilers? No ultras? Okay, I thought it might saw some ultra cavern or something. But really, very nicely done. I like it. Good job, Hawk. And way to win it for your team. So with that, I'm going to cut it for the YouTube recording here. Thanks for watching. Again, if you'd like to, I am streaming this on weekends here. Most typically on weekends, maybe on occasion during the week. Usually not for more than a couple hours at a time. I do work full time. I got 3 kids, and it's a lot to try to do at once. So I'll tweet it out so you can follow me on the tweeter. I may throw some stuff up on YouTube as I can better schedule my days. But beyond that, the best place to find me, if you can't follow me on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, is... No, YouTube. That would be the best place. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to week 3 coming up next. We should see some replays coming up. I'm recording this on Saturday night. Replays should be coming out tomorrow for week 3. I've already signed up for 2 casts, and I think I've got another SCC-A team match coming up in that. And X17, I believe, is the other team that I signed up to cast over. So we should have some pretty good games. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next series. Good night, guys.